Hello everyone, it's Chrissy here from the Creative Eclectic. Happy Tuesday night. Hope you're having a fabulous day and I hope you had a nice long weekend for those who are in Queensland and enjoyed Labour Day. I am having a fabulous day. Oh, so productive. I've been working since just before 6 o'clock this morning, so I've been doing stuff for retreat and stuff for my coffee cake and cards tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that because we're having a bit of a birthday party tomorrow and I'm really excited. So who has got their new catalogue in the mail? Hope everybody who I posted one to has received it. I got mine that I posted to myself, so I'm hoping everybody else got theirs. So tonight we're going to play with some stuff from the brand new catalogue, and we're playing with new inks and papers and, excuse me for rustling in the background, but I just wanted to talk really quickly about the new Stampin' Up catalogue. If you're joining, make sure that you say hello so that I know that I'm not talking to myself. I'll just share this. Okay. Okay. I think that I have shared this with enough people. Okay, let's go. All right, so let's have a look at the new catalogue. Now, when you open your catalogue, it's very different to what it has been in the past. And it's more about connecting with others. So if anyone is watching, I can't see who's watching so at the moment. So there's a bit of a lag for some reason. But anyway, so you'll see there's lots of photos in this catalogue about people creating together. And that's what Stampin' Up's really all about, isn't it? Getting together with your friends and crafting. Hi Glenda S, how are you? Hope you're having a fabulous day. Hi Glenda L, nice to see you. All right, so forgive me if I am quieter or louder than normal, okay? Because last Thursday, I got some hearing aids, and because some of you know that I'm deaf in both ears and have been since I was a child, and I haven't been able to wear hearing aids for 36 years. So I'm still adjusting to my new ears. So sometimes I talk really soft, sometimes I'm talking really loud, and it's going to take about 6 months till I work out everything right. So my brain works out what to filter out. So anyway, so my apologies if I am talking softer than normal. All right, so we're just going to, there's just a couple of things that I wanted to show you in this catalogue. We're not doing a catalogue tour, I'm just showing you a few quick things. So on page 16 of the catalogue, 16, 17, Stamping Up has got their top 10 items that they think someone starting out might need. Yes, Glenda, I know. I've been through this adjustment process when I was 5, so it's a long time ago. And it's hard to do it again. But thank you. I'll get there. So, yes. So this is a top 10. So there's scissors, glue, foam, dimensionals, ink, blocks, a basic stamp set, punch, some note cards and envelopes, a chamois to clean your stamps, and me, your demonstrator, number 10. Okay, so yeah, I know there's 2 more people watching and I don't know who they are, sorry. All right, the other thing that I wanted to show you, I was on page 22. They've got this, down the bottom here, all these different sketches. Now these are basically like a pattern, like if you were sewing, you'd have a pattern. So these are like a pattern that you can follow when you're making your cards. So if you look at this sketch here, I'll bring it up a bit closer. Right, it's got 2 pieces of cardstock and a base and a sentiment and a ribbon. And then when you look over here, that's just what they've done here. They haven't left the ribbon off, but that's basically the sketch. And you'll find these sketches all throughout the catalogue. So it makes it easier. Everything comes back to those basic designs. Well, not everything, but most things. So that's a really, if you're stuck for how to lay out your card, that's a really, really good place to start. The other thing, and I'm going to do a catalogue walkthrough, I just have to look at our diaries and work out the best time to do that. Because I want people to have a little look through first before I give them my opinion. I'm looking here. Towards the back of the catalogue, there is a thing called a colour wheel. Now, those of you who've been with me for a long time, I often talk about what colours go together and where they sit on the colour wheel. So that's not something new. When I first started Stamping Up, we got a colour wheel when we joined. So that's on page 132. So that's something that, keep it handy. And maybe put a post-it note. Let's get a post-it note. And put it on these pages so that you can just refer that back to that. And I think the other page I wanted you to put a post-it note on was on page 22 and 23. So I'll just pop a couple of post-it notes there so we've got those marked off. So I haven't even been through and put all my post-it notes in my catalogue yet. Okay, so that's a really good place to start when you're a bit stuck for what colours go together. All right, but today we are concentrating on a new stamp set and the new Stamping Up in colours. So the in colours come in, they're on page 139 and they stay in the catalogue for 2 years. So these are beautiful, beautiful colours. I just love them. And I'm hoping I bought all the ribbon up because I've got ribbon in every colour, but every one of these colours. So, Glenda, I believe they are going to release a colour wheel so don't tear it out of your book yet. I believe that's happening. But the fellows from Mitsu Crafts in the UK, they actually have done one very similar. So maybe look on their website and see about the colour wheel. Okay, I'm not sure the timeline for, well, Stampin' Up have said yes, they're going to release a colour wheel, but I don't know when. They're working on it. And those people who went to on stage, they got a colour wheel. All right, so let's talk about these new colours and then we'll get to some creating. So the first colour, oh, let me put that one away, let's get one that's open. First colour that's new is Pretty in Pink. Now, some of you who've been around a long time and with Stampin' Up will know that we used to have a colour called Pretty in Pink. This is a slightly different colour. Okay, very similar, but slightly different. Actually, I'm just going to close this paper just so you can see them better. All right, so we've got Pretty in Pink. Then we have some Shy Shamrock. So it's just a nice green. It's slightly lighter than the old Just Jade that's retired now. Petunia Pop. Summer Splash. Now, when you stamp Summer Splash on Summer Splash and Shy Shamrock on Shy Shamrock, it's sometimes difficult to tell them apart. Just ask my husband. He's like, I don't know which one's which. How can you tell the difference? Because he's been helping me with retreat prep in the last couple of days, and he's like, I don't know where this goes. So it's a bit, the differences are subtle when it's stamped on cardstock. Okay, so they are the 5 new colours. So which is your favourite? Mine is Petunia Pop, followed closely, well, I'm not sure if it's Summer Splash or Petunia Pop. I haven't decided yet, but I love both of them. All right, so we're just going to pop those over there. So as well as ribbon, Stampin' Up released in the In Colours, and we'll be using this tonight. And excuse me for rattling the paper, crinkling the paper. Everything sounds really loud, so I think that this sounds supersonically loud. So look at these glimmer papers. Aren't they just beautiful? Look at that green. So they all coordinate perfectly. Oh, I just think they're really, really pretty colours. Even the peach, which isn't my thing, and like oranges, like I wear a lot of oranges, but those paler colours aren't my thing, but I love it in this. So much to love about this. All right, so we've got some glimmer paper, we've got some ribbon. Yeah, and so this CSP is the 2024-2025 In Colour Glimmer 12x12 Specialty Designer Series paper. Let's have a look at the catalogue where we might find that. It'll be somewhere, like, it's going to take us a while to get used to this new catalogue because it's set up completely different. 98. Looking in our index at the back. So maybe put a post-it note in your index as well. It says it's on page 98, the In Colours, but Oh no, that's the designer series paper. Okay. That's interesting. Specialty paper. Page 55, that's what you need to book. I just didn't look far enough along in the, so this is it here in the catalogue. And it is $19 for 5 sheets, and it's only single-sided, okay? So you find it on the bottom of page 55. So that's it there. We've also got, oh, I did bring up the ink pads, but I also brought up all the blends as well. So you can see we've got blends, because part of my project tonight is using blends. Okay. And I wanted to do something nice and bright today. Okay. Okay. And so the other thing on this page are these little resin dots, and we're going to use those as well. Okay. Alrighty, let's get going. So the bundle I'm using, which I only opened about an hour ago, is called Attention Shoppers, right? So it's a stamp set and it's a die, and so I quickly die cut and coloured a few things so that I could show you a nice little project. And I don't know if it's one of the sketches, maybe I need to have a look at that. But see, I haven't even finished colouring it. I was trying to eat my dinner and colour and all at the same time. Let me just see what page that's on. So if you're looking for this stamp set, it's called Attention Shoppers, and it's on page 65 of the catalogue if you're playing along at home. Okay, so that's it there. So you've got, it's not a fancy stamp set, it's really easy to fussy cut if you don't want to die cut it. Okay, and we'll just have a look back at these sketches. No, the sketch I'm doing isn't there, so that's okay. So we've got our, so what I've done is using that pretty pink, oops. So I've die cut the trolley, and what I've done is I've put some of the adhesive foam sheets. So when I pull that off, it's just going to leave me the foam, well, hopefully. Oh no, it's sticking. Glenda, there must be something about every time I use foam sheets, when you're watching, it doesn't go according to plan. Hi, Kim Heath. Nice to see you. All right, just moving them out the way. So I wanted to, the reason I put a foam sheet on it before I die cut it is I wanted to make it stand up a bit more, give it a bit more depth. It's okay, Glenda. I don't really blame you. I just blame me for not being organised enough for taking these little pieces out. I'm going to use them on my project anyway. All right. Because you can use, so I've cut my little, this is a basket of my trolley, I've also got my trolley wheels, and I've done them in a pop of pink too. Sorry, petal pink too. I use a Sizzix tape blender small. I know it's out of stock from Sizzix, but you might be able to get it on Amazon or Craft Online. And it's a low tack tape. Right, so what I'm going to do with this first little, I'm going to grab a post-it note, put that underneath. I've got my dark stamping blend, and I just want to add a little, just want to go along the edges of the wheels and underneath to add a bit of dimension to it. Now you could use a sponge dauber. So basically you draw around it, and what that does is it just, when it dries, gives it a bit more oomph, I guess. Okay. Like you can colour the whole thing in if you want, like I've done. Like you could do that. Let's just do that. This is my dark one, and what I'll do is, I just want it a little bit darker than what the Pretty in Pink, or the Pretty Pink is. I don't know what it is. Is it Pretty in Pink or Pretty Pink? It is Pretty in Pink. Okay. And I'll just put a bit of the light one across the middle as well, just so it looks like it's sort of blended. I just wanted to make it a little bit darker. All right, let's see what else we've got here. So I haven't finished, like I've clumsily die cut, because I was doing it so quickly. As I said, I only opened the stamp set at 6 o'clock. I've had in my head for days what I was going to do. Okay. Now, I have coloured some. Now, I've done extras. And the reason I've done extras is so I can choose the best ones. And also, if I need to have something for the inside. I've also stamped on the Petunia Pop paper, not paper, cardstock, and just fussy cut that out. All right, the other pieces that we're going to need for our card, I will have to finish colouring those flowers, but the pieces we're going to need are our card base, a layer. So this one's a Petunia Pop layer. I've also cut a white one as well. I cut them at the same time, so that's why and what I'm going to do is I'll just want to grab my trimmer and cut out that cut out the white, like cut out a frame on the inside. We'll cut the white out of the frame. That's probably the better way to go. I'm not going to keep the frame. I just want to make it just a little bit, lining that edge up with where the oops. It helps when you put your blade in properly. And how are you, Miss Kim? I see you've been busy today, crafting. Let's see. And I'm hoping I cut this the right size. It should work. So what I've done is I wanted to cut it just so it fits inside that. Okay. All right. It's just easier to die cut the two at the same time. I've also got somewhere, I'm going to cut a piece of, I've got another radiating, I could have just used that one, couldn't I? Let's just use that one. That's the right size. Well, that's silly. I'm a bit embarrassed now. That shows how often I use it. I'm going to grab a bit of the Petunia Pop glimmer paper, and I want to cut it so it has a border around this. So this is 2 5/8 by 4 1/8, I think. So I'm going to just cut 2 7/8. Because I really, so I'm making a birthday card for myself, okay? And this one I'm going to just cut at, I'll cut it at 4 3/8, and then just see if I need to cut it down a little bit. I won't waste it. Now, it seems like we've got an awful lot of, you know, that glimmer paper that's in the middle? So we do need to cut it down slightly bit. We've got all that glimmer paper in the middle. And it seems a bit of a waste to have that covered up by something else. So what I'm going to do is, on the wrong side, I'm going to grab a ruler. I'm hoping I've got one up here. This will be one of those things that I forgot. Okay, I've got grid paper. I've got a number on it, so that'll work. So on the wrong side, I want to go in, I'm going to use this grid paper as a ruler. I want to go in about 3/4 of an inch, about there, and about there. Alright, I'm going to put a dot in those spots and turn it around the other side, about 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to put a dot there and a dot about there. We want to make it a little bit, 3/4 to 1/2 an inch. And what I'm going to do is use my trimmer, press it down where those dots are, and just cut out, well, I can go a bit further, the inside of that glimmer paper. Now if you had a die, you could cut the die, use a die about there. So that means that because this glimmer paper's expensive, you're not wasting any. You're keeping enough that you've got a border and you've got something to stick it to. And if it doesn't cut completely, you just grab your scissors and cut along. So you're sort of cutting a frame, but it's going underneath. So, yeah, you could have used just the next size down die if you wanted to. Oh, so those dies are radiating stitches, I think. Radiating stitches dies, and they're an online exclusive. So, all right. So we can save this bit for another day. And we've got this bit. It's going to sit behind here. Okay, I'll put it the right way. Yeah. So, because this die is a funny size, you can do one of two things. You can just leave it the way it is, or one of three things. You can leave it the way it is. You can cut it down so that you're not, you don't have so much white, or you can do what we're going to do, and we are going to stamp. And we're going to stamp with the flowers. So it looks like that it's deliberately supposed to be like that. Okay. So does everyone understand what I was doing there, why I cut the middle out of that? Just so I didn't waste all that cardstock. Hi Jodie. Thank you for watching and joining us. Okay, so I've got my little bouquet of flowers. Now I know that, and flowers are a nod to my niece Susie, who's been making some fabulous bouquets this week. We know that we need about 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch of flowers along the bottom. So I'm just going to repeatedly stamp. Oh, let me move this up so it's in the centre, sorry. I actually put my phone on my stand back the front today. I'm just going to stamp all the way along the bottom, and I'm going to stamp. Now this block is too big for the stamp, and the reason I know that is because I've got all this extra ink on it. So how about I get a better size block? This one will still be too big, but we won't have as much excess ink, and so there's less chance of getting that halo. Oh, you had to cook tea and well, I hope your dinner was lovely. Steve made me savoury mince because I have been hanging out for savoury mince for weeks. And we've talked about it 5 or 6 times, and it's like, really need some savoury mince. But anyway, and he made it tonight. And he hasn't made it before, so. Okay, so we've got some flowers along the bottom there. Now, just to close that. So that was with the Petunia Pop ink. And I'm going to just pop that one on there. So see, it makes a big difference. It doesn't look as stark when you've got some colour there. And what you could do, let's do this, grab a stamping blend, I'm just using the light one, and just colour a few random flowers. So just a couple, maybe 3, maybe 5. You could use a different colour. Like, you know what colour is so pretty with this is Bubble Bath. Petunia Pop and Bubble Bath are like a match made in heaven. They go beautifully together. Okay. So I'm just doing a few random ones. I'll do 5 at the top and 5 at the bottom. Let's colour that in there. All right. Now, I've stamped everything beforehand because I didn't want to bore you to death with me colouring everything. And also because I discovered that I'm quite heavy-handed with my stamping blends, so I need to be a bit softer with them because I can hear myself colouring. And you shouldn't be able to hear yourself colouring with the blends. So it's like when someone hears something like music for the first time, it's pretty oh, the pasta with sun-dried tomato. Yum. All right, that sounds delicious, Jodie. When are you coming up to cook that for me? Okay, so we've added a bit of colour there. I do have to say, I'm out of the in colours. Oh, sorry about that. The Pretty in Pink is probably my least favourite, and which is a surprise because I'm a pink girl. Oh dear. I think we just got a Stamping Up delivery because my watch pinged and Delphi's just gone nuts. Okay, let's see what. Let's start putting this together. I've got my glue. I'm just using glue on this part. Okay. Oh yeah, she's so ferocious. She's barking and running away. I can hear her running in the other direction while she's barking. Yeah, we get deliveries up until about 9 o'clock. 7:30 is a bit late for us. But yeah, we do get to, and you know what? I put glue on the wrong side of that, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Okay. All right. So I can hear myself rubbing the paper, and I think that's because it sounds really, really loud. All right. So now we're going to pop this frame on, and we're not going to put it on dimensionals or anything. We're just, oh, actually we will. We will put it on dimensionals. Let's make it a nice poppy card. Okay. Now I haven't made this card before, so I've made something similar, but I think it's a nice sort of layout to use up some and showcase some different colours, and once everything's all die cut, it doesn't take a long time. Let's just put all our little dimensional backings in the one spot. Okay. And those of you who are coming to Coffee, Cake and Cards tomorrow, we're using a stamp set there too. So going to pop that in the center. All right. Now, you'll see there's a right and a wrong side. So that's the wrong side. It's not as nicely indented. What I want to do first is I just want to work out where I want my trolley to go. I'm just going to have it, because I'm not just sticking the trolley straight up. What I want to do is put the back of the trolley in, okay? Because the trolley has two sides. Yeah, they do start with a little idea and grow, yeah. Glenda, that's why I like sketches, because you have a look at a sketch and it looks good or bad or whatever, and then you use it as a foundation. Oh, this just fits. Okay, So I want to do the back of the trolley. Now, because I've used the Pretty in Pink glimmer paper, I'm going to use Pretty in Pink for the back of the trolley. Now, I could have stamped the base of the trolley, but I was lazy. And I want to have it right in the middle, but sort of facing down a little, like it's going downhill maybe. Yeah. My mum told me when I was talking to her on the phone today, because we were talking about my birthday, and she goes, oh, it's all downhill from here. And I'm like, oh, really, Mum? It's really not. She's 85, mind you. So we're going to just put a little bit of glue. Now, if you had some, when you're die cutting these things out, use some adhesive sheets, and you can die cut them, and then you just peel off the adhesive sheets, and then you don't get glue everywhere. So I'm going to pop that there, because trolleys they're not really, what I'm going to do, because the front of the trolley isn't always flat, is it? No, we'll just make it go downhill. Okay. So we've got our legs of our trolley. Now, I've got all these bits and pieces in our trolley. Now, even though I've die cut these, what I want to do is just, first of all, take off the tape. And I want to take off the white that's going to be in the trolley, because I want to still be able to perhaps see the back of the trolley. I don't want the white covering the back of the trolley. So I've got 2 of these, and they're just plain cardstock. And then I've got this one. I've got, we're going to put a couple of plants on our trolley as well. So where it's going to go, I could die cut one quite well, and the other one I didn't die cut well at all. We're going to pop, I don't like a big border around things, so I'm just going to pop that little plant down there. That'll go, I'm just sort of laying it out. Oh, we haven't finished colouring our flowers. And we're going to colour those in Petunia Pop as well. And like we've got a dodgy die cut bottle of champagne. So we can just straighten that up. So this is what happens when you do things quickly. And at the moment I feel like I'm doing everything quickly. But I'll take a breath in a couple of days, and everything will be just back to routine. I hope my trolley works better than the supermarket trolley too. Yes, yes, I do hope so, Glenda. All right, so on my little bunches of flowers, I'm going to colour both of them. You can see I got a bit carried away with the, what do you call it? It's called peach pie. And I did that inside. So what I'm going to do is on a couple of the flowers, just where I've got carried away with the peach. I'm just going to put some darker petunia. I'm not blending it as such because it just takes forever. But what I want to do is with a couple of them, just make them a little bit darker. Now I'm doing both, so if I want to put some on the envelope I can, or I can put it inside the card, or put a bit up there. Okay. Hi Kerry, happy birthday for the other day. Sorry I missed it. All the best people are born this month, let me tell you. Alright, so I'm just going to use the light petunia pop and finish colouring that in. And if you've stuffed up the die cutting like I did with this one, it's nothing that a pair of scissors won't fix, okay? Alright, just colouring it all in. You probably can't notice the darker bits, but they are there. It's only a slight variation. I can see it here, but you probably can't see it on the film, on the video. Video, God, yeah, I'm sounding like my dad. Oh, goodness. I could sound like worse people, so that's okay. All right, so this one here, where I've messed it up a bit, I'm just going to fix that. So that's a good thing about having nice scissors, is that you can just fix things whenever you make a mistake. Okay. Sorry, my nails are in such a state today. I haven't even had a chance to go and get them done. And life is busy, isn't it? Okay, so I've done that one. We've fixed it up. It's much better than what it was. And this way, when you cut the white off, even though you've die cut it already, they're really easy to fussy cut. So if you don't want to buy the dies, that's okay. But you don't miss any of the other colours. All right, so I've got, we need to finish our little bottles of wine. I'm going to put a little pale pink label on them. So I think everything's coloured now. All right, and I really like that shamrock green. I think that's so pretty. It's nice to play with new colours. Like, I deliberately waited till the new catalogue came out before I played with any of the new colours, because I feel bad for playing with them when not everyone can get them. So that's why I don't normally show them before the catalogue comes out. So we're going to grab a bit of glue and we're going to start sticking things together. So I put my plain shopping bags at the back. And this trolley is going to be overloaded with birthday stuff. Okay. Well, someone else has joined us. Hello, whoever you are. I can't see who you are. Hope you're having a great day. And how are you, Kerry? Are you well? Did you have a great celebration for your birthday? Should I move that one down a bit? Yeah, you need to make sure that you're not going outside the outer parameters of your trolley. We're going to shove a little bottle of wine in here because, you know, my girlfriends for our birthdays, we always have wine. Make it look like it's coming out of the bag. That'd be good. Well, we don't always have wine. We have Prosecco, so, or bubbles, or alcoholic ginger beer, or mocktails, depending on the day. All right, so want to pop my flowers in as well. Okay. That'll be like my trolley's gone to Bunnings, really. Got flower, well, no, Bunnings doesn't sell wine. She did. A bunch of flowers there. Oh, I've got a bit of an ink booger. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, wow, that's, oh. Yeah, it's Tuesday already, Harry, and you haven't had a chance to play in your craft room? Goodness. Oh, I get that, though. With yesterday being a holiday, it sort of threw things out. Because I had everything planned, and then Steve was he's working on a project for retreat for me. And I know that sounds intriguing. And so we had to go to a friend's to finish them because they had the tools that we don't. Okay, we're going to pop this one here. I'm going to pop my other bottle of wine. Now I didn't fussy cut, I didn't go around that with my scissors, so I'm just going to on this edge here, just take that white off. Yeah, it's only 2 and a bit weeks till our retreat. And I tell you, I am so excited. It's taken over our house. Well, it did that before we went away on our road trip, but it has definitely taken over our house now. I can't see the dining table or the kitchen bench at the moment. I can see my craft room. My craft room's really tidy, but the dining table, kitchen bench and family room have got retreat stuff everywhere. And I've got these sheets out, so if anyone who comes over is going to retreat, I have to throw the sheets over everything. I always keep him busy, Glenda. Poor Steve never gets a chance to rest. I'm going to pop that one down here. Let's pop this tape a little bit off the top. Being a bit finicky. Now you don't have to do this. You can, if you choose, not be so particular about your bits that go in your trolley. Okay, I'm going to stick that one, oh, we might stick it over here a bit. won't worry about that bit there, because I think that so remember before I said I had die cut this with the foam adhesive sheets behind it. So I'm going to pop that over the top. I probably should have done the base in a silver, but see, it's sort of pretty, it's looking pretty okay. Now I want to put here, just to cover up that bit there that I don't particularly like, I'm going to put this little plant on dimensionals. To make it look like it's on the bottom of our trolley. And I'm going to put the bottom two dimensionals, double dimensional, on the actual pot bit, because remember I've got the foam behind the there we go. Oh, I probably should have trimmed there a bit more. Okay, oh, that's okay. All right, so we've got that bit together. We need to pop it on here. And again, we're going to use some dimensionals. I'm going to grab the very outer edge of my dimensionals. This bit here. Don't want to waste anything. And it's so much easier to just use one big bit than lots of little bits. Okay, we're liking how this looks so far. We haven't finished, but it's just a bit different and bright and happy, I thought. Just pop a dimensional in the middle, on there. Get rid of all those backs. I've got glue on my fingers, so everything's sticking to my hands. Today I had ink all up my arms, and oh, it was dreadful because I lent in an ink pad and it was one of those days. Hi Fiona, how are you? Oh, lovely to see you. Whoops, I nearly put my card upside down. Wouldn't that be a travesty? Oh. All right, so we've got some nice bright colours happening here. We've got some glimmer, because every girl needs bling for her birthday. Now, you'll see here, I've coloured the basket, the paper in Pretty in Pink. And I have to tell you, I'm not I'm not loving it. So I'm going to grab my light petunia pop, and I am going to go over that Pretty in Pink with my petunia pop. It is light here. And just change. So I'm going to go over it with the petunia pop, but then I'm going to go over it again with some more Pretty in Pink, because I just want to lighten it up a bit more. Yeah, it is chockers. It will. It's a very full trolley. But hey, I put in a Stampin' Up order for myself for my birthday, so that trolley is probably less than what's in my order. So I'm just going in the middle of that. Okay. And I'm going to put that on the inside of my card with my birthday cake, because happy birthday to me. Okay. I'll put down the, yeah, I'm gonna have 3 things in the inside of my card. I'm gonna have my cake, my flowers, and my no, I think that's too much the same colour. I'm gonna have my cake and my plant and my shopping bag. Okay. Right. Actually, I'm going to do it the opposite way to I just had it. Let's start here on the outside. So you just play with it and I really like how these coloured. Now these weren't coloured fancily, they were just coloured like you were using plain markers and a colouring in book. And look, I don't like that big edge on there. So I'm going to trim that off, just because it's going to overlap the packaging. Because that, you know, I was dodgy die cutting. Just get rid of some of that white. Not worried about the white that's going to go onto the white, just the white that's going to go over top of the bag. You just got to be careful, because it's got glue on the back of it, that I don't tear it and that I don't make it stick to my fingers. Yeah, one of the retreat orders arrived today and earlier today, and so I've got 4 more to arrive. 5 more. So I'm pretty excited about that. It'll be like Christmas. None of it'll be for me. That's the worst part. All right. I'm going to pop this little plant over here. Now the reason I'm putting the plant between the Christmas tree, between the cake and the bag, is because otherwise there would be too much pink. I know that sounds odd. Never have too much pink, but it would be. Now, you'll see how before when I coloured that on the front of the card, it came through. Now, if you don't like that, if you want to fix that, what you can do is you can just grab a little bit of your glimmer paper. Let's grab a half an inch of that. And because we're making it such a blingy card, let's go all out. I'm going to maybe grab 3/4 of an inch. 2 strips that are 3/4 inch. Okay. that way, just going to make it, just going to cover it up. You could use a different colour if you, I'm just using Petunia Pop because that's my colour of the day today. And I'm just going to line that up with there. Oh, how about just trim that bit off. Line that up. That's very, very blingy. So that's a really easy fix to get rid of unwanted bleeding through the, I think that's what you would call it, bleeding. It goes all the way through. Let's put that across there. Now, I think that it needs a sentiment, and we haven't got a sentiment. I intended to have one on the front. So let's have a look at the stamp set and see what sentiment we might use. Let's wiggle that up so that it's right on the edge. So that's the inside of our card. All right, let's have a look at the stamp set. Let's see what sentiment we might use. Well, it's got a happy birthday, so that would work just perfectly, wouldn't it? And I wanted to put ribbon on here, but I think if I put ribbon on here, it might be a little bit too much. Let's see. I've got stuff stuck to my fingers. Ah! That's funny. Yeah. Happy birthday would be brilliant, wouldn't it? Mm. I'm really excited. I'm going to the splatter room. It's called the Rosé room, and they have a paint splattering class, art class. So we're going to that on Saturday. Oh, that's what I forgot. So these little, remember I had these little bits before from the trolley? If you wanted to, and I don't think I want to, but if I did want to, I could have put them down underneath as tiles, but I'm not going to. I've changed my mind about that. I will use them as something else as tiles. All right, so I think it needs a bit of a different colour. There's an awful lot of pink. I'm thinking, I did initially think Summer Splash, but that somehow didn't make its way up here. No, it didn't. So I'm thinking Shy Shamrock, because we've got some nice greens in there. And I don't think it needs any ribbon, but it does need a sentiment. So we're going to grab our happy birthday. Now, because this is a photopolymer stamp, we need something that is cushioned behind it, like your foam mat or something like that. And I don't know where that is. So I'm going to go, I'm just going to wing it and see how it goes without that. Do a little happy birthday down the bottom here. Hopefully my head's not in the screen. Oh, that looks pretty good to me. Grab our trimmer and trim that off. And I think it needs a bit more glimmer paper because in a different colour. So I'm thinking we'll go with the shamrock. Because we could never have enough bling, okay? Alright, so when you're lining up this to cut with your trimmer, you've got your trimmer slot and then you've got this like a groove. I put my sentiment sort of so that the top of the letters touch that groove. And if it's not quite right, you can wriggle it over it a little bit more and try again. That edge wasn't straight. Let's straighten that edge first. And wriggle it over a little bit more. Not much. Just because I want it the same distance from the edge, top and bottom. So it's going to be a bit straighter. Okay. Now I want a piece of shamrock. I don't even want much. I just want maybe ½ inch, if that. I'll go ½ inch, so that gives me a little bit of stick on. I just want it to go underneath. So we know that this is about 3 3/4 long, 2 3/4 long, so I'll just cut that off. Now don't throw these bits away, you will use them, trust me. Okay, I've got a little basket that I shove all of my scraps in, and then once every few weeks I go through and I sort out my scraps of into their colours, but I also, as I'm creating stuff, I keep going back to that scrap basket so that I can find what I need. Now I'm just going to use some tear and tape because I find that works sometimes a little bit better than glue when you're sticking something to and I'm actually going to stick it to the top. Yeah, when you're sticking something to glimmer paper, sometimes the tear and tape works better than the glue or the seal. What's everyone's plans this week? Are you coming to Coffee, Cake and Cards tomorrow, Glenda S? I hope so. And Fiona, are you coming tomorrow? And Kim, are you coming? It'd be nice to see you. You haven't been for a while, and it's a birthday celebration tomorrow. I'm told they're doing something yummy. Alright, so I'm just going to stick this on here. Like this. Like that. I'm going to trim that. I think it needs to just be trimmed down a little bit. There. Oh, that's not real straight. Oh, I got my crooked eyes on today. Awesome. That's great, Glenda. I'm glad. I'm looking forward to it. We've got a new lady coming tomorrow to join us. She's never made a card before. And she's very, very nervous about coming, but I'm sure she's going to find you all lovely. And she is really interesting. She's a wildlife carer. So what I want to do now is I just want to cut like a little banner. So I find the middle of my banner, this is where grid paper comes in handy. I'm just going to pop a little dot where I think the middle should be, about there. And I am just going to cut up to that little dot. And that one's a bit crooked, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. I am going to pop this. I think I had planned to put it right there, but I think it covers too much of the trolley. So I'm thinking I might need to actually put a bit more glimmer paper on it. So it has to evolve because I didn't like what it was doing. So I'm going to pop a bit more glimmer paper on it, the bottom of it. I could have used a different colour glimmer paper, but I think it needs lots and lots of bling. And because, you know, shamrocks are the same colour as emeralds, and emeralds is the May birthstone, just in case anyone's asking, in case Steve's watching later on. Although he knows that already because he's bought me several emeralds from over the years, but yes, that's a bit better. I think that will go. I still think it probably needs to go down the bottom, then you don't lose all that pretty stuff up the top. So I'm going to grab some dimensionals. So now this outer dimensional bit needs 3 layers of dimensionals to make it sit up high enough. And then 1 layer at the taggy end, or at the banner end. There we go. And it needs some resin dots. Now resin dots are currently, they had a bit of a run on them, so they're unavailable, but they've been shipped and they will be here soon. Now there are 2 different in colour bits of bling. We're using the resin dots today, but you could use the faceted glittery gems, but I think we've got enough glitter on here with a glittery trolley and a little glittery frame and a glittery happy birthday, although that looks like it's a bit crooked. It's hard to see when you're not right over top of it. So I think that I can skip the glitter on that. And I want to bring in a bit more of that summer splash. So I'm just going to put a small summer splash there. And a big one on that side at the top. Get rid of that rubbish. And a bit that one down the bottom. So I didn't think this card would take this long, but because I've sort of been chatting, it has taken longer than I planned. So that is my birthday card to me. So there you go. Of course you can add more bling. I think it needs a bit of bling over here. I could just go nuts with the amount of bling I could add to that. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to be good. I'm going to put a different colour bling on there. Actually, see, I keep changing my mind. I'm talking to myself here. Do you talk to yourself when you're crafting? I think it's the only way you get a good answer, really. I'll pop that one there. No. I'm just playing here. I need to stop playing and let you people, good people, go to bed or go about your day if you're watching from a different time zone. Let's see, let's pop this over here. Okay, so here we go. This is our finished card, and we've got some a little extra to put on the envelope. So we've got all of the in colours in this card. We've got Petunia Pop, which is my favourite, followed closely by Summer Splash. Then we've got the Peach Pie and the Shy Shamrock and the Pretty in Pink. So I hope you enjoy the card, and I look forward to hearing from you about what your favourite colour in the new catalogue in colours are. Like, I think you can guess what mine is. Anyway, thank you. Have a great week, and I really hope that you enjoyed tonight's card, and we'll see you next time. Okay, until next time, happy creating. Bye for now.